like that. I don't know what you guys are talking about back there. I just, you know what about?
Hey,
Sounding
Yeldon.
hot.
No, I'm just kidding.
What in tarnation?
It felt right.
It's like Zero BBY all over again.
Yeah, it was just like I was like, man, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do an intro, but how am I gonna make it fun? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna yell at him like we were having an argument in the back.
It's just a 5-second stream. The band's not
I'm
back
out of here.
together.
I had enough. What's up, everybody? So yeah, getting the band back together. We're gonna talk a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of him and her and all that fun stuff. So yeah, there's a lot going on right now. So I'm with the guys getting back together. Matt Cave crawled out and decided to crawl out of the Nintendo he was living in, and Scotty's finally out of the VR world of GTA.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to get together.
The stars have aligned.
It's been a long time. There's a lot to talk about, I feel like.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, I mean, let's we can start easy and let the cat out of the bag. So word on the street is that you were just saying backstage that that Disney Plus is thinking about consolidating all of their resources into one platform instead of having multiple platforms that they stream from, and that Disney Plus might be on its way out in the next year or so, maybe.
Seems like a fairly short time frame. The plan may be to move things over. From what I'm understanding, from what I've been reading, is that they would retire Disney Plus and move it all to the Hulu platform, along with like ESPN sports bundles and stuff like that, and just kind of bring things into one place. And apparently, because nowadays there's well over 200 plus streaming services out there.
Correct. It's not just the big three anymore.
It's not the big three anymore, right? But what's happening is because of that, just a major saturation, nobody's making money. Like Netflix is still profitable, Hulu's still profitable, and Prime is still profitable. But everybody else is just kind of in the weeds, and they're just trying to keep up. And it seems like we're heading towards the direction of companies starting to just sell their or give license to their IPs again.
Right.
So
it feels like streaming is becoming cable television, and like there's too much content. So there's like this trickle down effect now where it's like all the little guys are like, we hear articles every other day, like Paramount Plus and Warner Brothers thinking about a merger, and Warner Brothers is like, no, we're not doing that. No. So it's like,
does that mean they're getting rid of ESPN Plus or whatever the hell ESPN is called also, and just consolidating everything over to Hulu? And
I would think that would
probably raising the price of Hulu, but with the other two gone, it's going to equal out.
It would kind of equal out, or maybe even just work out for everybody. Like it's one of those things where, because I don't know if you guys remember how cheap Netflix was back in the beginning. Like it was mad cheap. But the thing about it was there was so much stuff on there. They didn't have all their originals. They just had the IPs from all over the place that they were licensing. And once it started to spread out, these big guys lost content, but then they filled it with their own stuff, and then they become their own.
Well, much like Netflix used to have the licensing for Disney and would play the Clone Wars and Rebels on Netflix until Disney Plus was operational. I mean, a failed experiment by Disney, maybe. I mean, they waste a lot of money in general. I mean, just on the whole, they create projects that they then box and then delete, right? Which is super weird. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers, Little Big Shots. I could go. There's a bunch that they just made and were a lot of fun. Maybe not have been the hit that they had anticipated them being, but at the same time, they were a lot of fun. And to just put them in a box and delete them is kind of, as a fan, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Does this still exist? Are we going to get another reboot? What's the plan here? Was this, because Disney Plus was obviously a television show platform where they put all of their movies and their content and all that fun stuff. But it was really more for their new shows, right?
That was the big thing, right? Yeah, if I remember, because what was it, 2019?
something like that.
Plus launched, and that was really to bring out all their new stuff. Like I don't know if I don't think all the classic stuff was on there right out of the gate. And don't get me wrong, like they've got tons of content on there when you look through it. I mean, there's plenty to watch, but it's just there's just too many services out there. Like Scotty said, it's just basically it's cable TV all over again.
Yep.
And the whole I remember. I mean, I'm a little bit on the inside track where I work for a provider, and it's it's one of those things where we kind of see how that transitioned. And I remember the days of all of the cutting the cord was the big thing, and everybody going to the streaming services. But now the streaming stuff is just as expensive, if not more, depending on what it is you want to watch.
Right.
It's so spread out.
Well, and that's, look, I mean, Disney, like I said, Disney has a really bad habit of wasting money. And this is, this is another example of a failed experiment under the regime at Disney. So we'll have to see. I mean, there seems to be a lot of cancelizing, gee, mini Christmas, a lot of canceling going on.
I think it's a new word.
We need to go over and cancelizing these people. The terrorizers. Are you guys terrorizers?
Do not cancel zero BBY, though. You got to remember at all times.
It's so good. But yeah, I mean, and back, back to the original topic, is, Disney canceled another game, right? So first it was the KOTOR remake. We never saw anything on Eclipse more than the studio working on it. This is the Bounty Hunter game. Is that what I'm gathering?
The one that was just canceled recently?
Yes.
That came and went?
It was supposed to be, literally announced and then gone. That was a little weird. Yeah. There's rumors floating around.
I mean, it's tough. It's the game space in itself is tough, right? So, and again, with the cancelization of potentially Disney Plus, another Star Wars game. I was also hearing that what else was canceled? Shoot,
the Mando game got canceled. The KOTOR remake,
right?
Eclipse never made it out of the gate.
Outlaws
made the cut, though. That's coming.
Outlaws has supposedly made the cut.
Yeah, that's coming.
But this is also what I say about directors and television shows and movies. Stop criticizing it until it's stop talking about it. Like, great, do a news piece on it, but stop making content on things that don't exist. Right? That's a huge thing in the space, because we spend weeks on Hunters.
That was the one I was trying to think of.
All of these, the KOTOR remake, now this Mando game. It seems like there's an open gate, really, with all the cancellation that's going on. Cancellation. Wow. I'm having a really weird day with cancel today. With all of the things that are getting axed. Let's go there. With all the things that are getting axed, all the games, there's a window of opportunity for people that really want to make something unique for the future. I mean, look, I spent an hour with my better half today on Apple Vision Pro. We're going to the Apple store to demo it, because she's like, this could help my neck and the office work and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you can write it off, let's go get one. I mean,
more power to you,
right? Because you don't think I'm going to be using that for gaming. You're out of your ever-loving mind. But we are getting ever closer to Ready Player One. We're getting ever closer to VR games being not just these clunky, as much as I loved Vader Immortal, it was a clunky game.
Yeah.
Right. It had a lot of tough maneuverability, a lot of tough handling. But the new VR stuff that's coming out, the Google Quest 6 and the Oculus 18, with all the different models of VR headsets that are coming out, this is what they should be working on, right? And with Disney not only canceling things, which might be a budgetary reason, considering they just spent a buttload of money buying interest in Epic. And what we have to remember with investing in Epic canceling these games may not be bad because they're working on the most current engine.
And that's it. The very interesting thing with that, with them getting access to the Unreal Engine, it's not just for games anymore. It's for movies.
A lot of movies, a lot of shows, a lot of CG is happening in the Unreal Engine. I mean, we work in television. There is a space where instead of building a set to clip show or CGing, using all this other technology, they're going in the Unreal Engine and building the room and then green screening that in motion. It's a crazy technology.
That's what they did for the volume, right? For Mando 1.
Basically, basically for the volume, they're using mocap. It's a little bit of a different technology. That's the stuff we saw Jar Jar posting things that he's in a video game. That's the mocap system.
Well, yeah, he had the motion, but I think the volume, like when they were in the room,
the volume rotates.
Kind of move with them. Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to find the demo for this mocap with NVIDIA.
But I understand what Disney is doing here, right? You're cutting the fat on games that didn't. Maybe it's not just that the game didn't have lightsabers. Like that's what the consensus is right now. Well, and forgive me for that, but it seems to me like it's not just
they don't have lightsabers as a Jedi. That's so bad, you guys. They have to have lightsabers,
right? Instead of it being that argument, maybe it wasn't up to the standard that they want to release now that they have an investment in Epic Gaming, and with the Unreal Engine, they know what is possible, having more than probably walked through, taken tours, seen what technology is on the horizon that Epic has, right? I think maybe they're just like, you know what? We're doing so much in-house. And to boot, Disney is the king of buying technology. Look what they did with the Shamook. The Shamook got acquired, and nobody on YouTube has a Shamook.
Everybody gotta get a Shamook. Huh?
So the Disney acquired the Shamook, and now there's no more Shamooking going on, right?
This Unreal Engine 5 thing is called MetaHuman, and it's like the girl walks out on stage and she's recording herself on a goddamn phone, bro.
Yeah. Right,
and they translate it right into the software.
And that's what
I'm like one graphics card away from being able to do stuff like that. It's crazy.
But Disney is the king of that. The Mount is the king of buying technology, green screen technology, the volume, Shamukama, right? All of this technology, they're great at acquiring technology to make everything that they do more realistic, more efficient, more this, more that. This is not this
disregard females, acquire currency.
Okay, this could be the chess
real recognize
move.
Real.
Yeah, this could be the chess move we don't realize is coming. Right? Everybody's like, oh, Disney losing money. Oh, Disney's canceling projects. Maybe they're just reallocating funds because they're buying something big and they know the resources that are going to be required for that kind of upgrade.
It seems like they're literally building its own universe with all of these IPs, and Epic Games they're top of their game when it comes to stuff like that. Like
Fortnite is still using they're using the Unreal Engine, but they're still using it in an old way. Right? They're not using it in the newest, most advanced way possible. For Fortnite, they're using it it's like turning on the advanced settings on a system, right? On an AI system. You're like, okay, here's your basic model, go. That's running at like 1% efficiency. You turn on the advanced settings and all of a sudden you're making the intro to Call of Duty that looks like real people. You're making these football games that rival that look almost as real as the Super Bowl, right? The technology that they're acquiring right now is going to put them at the forefront of whatever they want to do. And because they have an ownership stake, do they get to dictate who gets to use the technology? Do they have a say? Because at that point, you're limiting Universal, Paramount, you're limiting all of the other IPs in the world not being able to use that technology because you own an ownership stake.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the money value of this wasn't in the millions, it was in the billions.
It was in the billions.
Right? Yeah. That's
But that's what I'm saying. They don't spend look, they bought Star Wars for $4 billion. I don't care how much hate. Look, there's the only kind of press is no press. So every video that comes out saying Star Wars sucks and this project sucks and fuck Kathleen Kennedy and all the all that bullshit is just more press, good or bad. And that company has grown exponentially since the acquisition, is worth double, maybe triple at this point, regardless of what the market says. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you're talking about these guys are playing, again, these guys are playing chess. We're playing rocks. We're playing jacks, right? we're playing, amateur hour, right?
Got 3 dice in my hand.
It's
don't even know the rules.
Exactly. You're just putting money on the floor and letting them take it from you, right? There's so much going on the corporate level of control, right? That's another thing Disney loves, dude. They love them some control. So if they get control, a partial control stake in saying who gets to use this technology, that's the shit they're buying for billions.
So I'm wondering if any of this, because this was all just recently made public, but I'm sure this has been going on behind the scenes for way longer than we'll ever know. They just announced that they're adding content to Star Tours at the parks.
April 5th.
That could possibly be some Unreal Engine stuff that they're utilizing to do this.
Well, I mean, yes, and one on top of that, boy, are the haters gonna hate. This is going to be a thing. I'm telling you right now.
I don't feel because it's Ahsoka, it's Mando, it's Andor, and did they say? Well, I guess Andor kind of goes hand in hand with Rogue One type stuff. So pretty strong stuff going in there, like adding into Star Tours. They didn't talk about taking away anything.
Doesn't matter if they're taking away. They're adding Disney Star Wars to Star Tours, right? They're adding more Disney Star Wars to Star Tours. People are going to shit their pants. People are going to, I'm guaranteed, as soon as this goes hot, there will be streamers crying tears because they changed Disney Star Tours now, and Disney Star Tours is different. And we don't like different. Nothing changes from just OT trilogy.
Voice to the voice.
Right? Do the voice. Please.
Nothing changes from the OT trilogy. Don't change the OT trilogy and then it goes Star Tours.
I guarantee it, dude. It's coming. Look,
it's been different since last time I was at Disney was my honeymoon.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for segueing into a topic I am bringing up. So we're going to the Star Wars After Dark, right? Dylan, we're gonna go out and we're gonna do that thing. Like I'm excited because I haven't been to Disneyland in 30 years since I was probably your son's age. So for me, this is going to be really fun on top of the late night stuff, but I didn't really announce to anybody else what's going on yet, but we're going on opening night also. So not only are we going on the second with everybody else, but we're going on opening night. So we're going to do stuff from the park on opening night until we get kicked out for streaming. So or told to turn our phones off. But yeah, I mean, people are going to get upset about this, no doubt. Look, the more you add Disney Star Wars into these existing rides or these existing content that people have come to love, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Rey and Kylo on the canceled space bus. So
the space bus.
You know, it just seems like there's a lot of consistent hate, and this is just another reason for them. I think it looks cool. I think flying through the Purgle is going to make some people motion sick. I think it looks fun. I'm curious to see what they add in because I will be going a couple days after they change it. So I'm eager to see the changes. Again, I haven't been in so long, I don't know. But I was gonna say, now, you know, I know you guys are on the other side of the country. I'm just saying, you know, on May 2nd, I might have a couple extra tickets. I'm just saying you could go on a business trip.
You're gonna fly me and my whole family out there and put us up for the whole time and fly us back, dude. You're so generous.
I mean,
like you don't have to do that.
I mean, you could just tell them you have to take a business trip for the weekend, and
it's all good, Scotty. I'm driving. Let's go.
I've done it before.
Cannonball run, just 21 hours back and forth.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's this whole idea of canceling games and this may be the rope-a-dope move. This may not even be a losing venture. This could actually benefit them because now they have more. I mean, they can make their own games.
Well, I'm as much as I'm excited for all the possibilities with their deal with Epic Games, I am a little saddened by just the other potential that was out there with other developers. Now, here's the thing about it is that it's not an exclusivity sort of thing anymore. Like EA, for example, is still moving forward with with the third part of the Jedi Order games. And I forget the name of the company that has the controlling stake in Old Republic, the online MMO. They're continuing. They're still going with that.
Okay.
So there's going to be like little sectors that are going to be still handling portions of the Star Wars IP. But going forward, like the big releases outside of Jedi Order 3 is going to be Epic Games and whatever they're doing with that.
Well, and it's going to be one of those Epic Games, Lucasfilm games.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what really, I guess that's kind of the more interesting thing is at this point, is this what Lucasfilm Games has been playing at the whole time? Right. Have they been biding their time knowing that they were going to possibly purchase Epic and they don't have to go outside of out of house anymore? Because I don't know if you guys ever pay attention. I'm always trying to work at Lucasfilm. Like I'm on their website looking for a job weekly. Every week I'm on there. Like every Friday I'm like, let's scroll through the want ads, you know, and instead of pulling out the newspaper like the old days, I'm scrolling Lucasfilm and Lucasfilm Games I've applied for a couple jobs I've never heard back from because obviously my resume is, you know, I'm a high school educated idiot, but I've applied. They might say yes one day. But
they tell you got to apply yourself.
You got to apply yourself. They always told me to apply myself, so I am. But they're hiring animators like crazy. To be honest, if you go on Lucasfilm Games, Lucasfilm, their want ads basically, they're hiring animators like crazy, and so that
you smell that? It's desperation. They haven't had a good Star Wars game since what was that game you were just talking about? They're still developing
Battlefront.
The third part of Jedi Order.
No, the other one, the MMO. The
MMO
Old
Republic.
Republic. How old is that game?
Oh, it's ancient.
Yeah. People are still playing it.
Yeah, that's like 17 years
like
old.
A shit ton. Right.
Yeah.
That's literally the last good Star Wars game, other than Jedi. You know, whatever. That story's great. But literally that MMO that was like literally being played before I could even hold a keyboard and a mouse at the same time. Like, I don't know, man. I'm losing faith. I got super hyped when they were like, oh, it's Lucas Games. It's back. They got the old logo and everything. And literally that was the peak of the hype. It's gone downhill since.
So what if the release of Battlefront, right? What if the re-release of Battlefront, what is it, remastered?
Remastered.
Yeah.
Okay, what if the remastered is just a tease not a tease. What if that's a test to see interest level in the game still, right? Because yes, we talk about it in the community.
Well, all they're going to do is add DLCs for all the new content now.
Great.
So
but my point being is if their servers get overloaded, right? If they see enough interest in the game, do they use Epic Games and the Unreal Engine to create Battlefront 3 and take it into 2025, right? Like that Battlefront
I feel like
on the Unreal Engine would look like Call of Duty, but your stormtroopers and your Luke's hands and you know what I mean? Like
if we get let me tell you this, their servers are not ready for what's about to happen when that launches. Day one, those servers are crapping out.
They're gonna crash.
They're gonna crash.
They're gonna crash hard.
See, just everybody, if anybody out there is unaware of what's about to happen, the classic Battlefront games are about to be re-released, remastered, with full online capabilities, allowing 64 players on the battlefield, 32 versus 32, in tons of modes, with galactic conquests and capturing the waypoints. Roger all the way. It's gonna break the internet.
It's gonna break their servers.
If they what you just said before, Obsession, like I may have to change my pants. If they make a Battlefront 3 because of this,
but isn't that absolutely possible though?
It's very possible.
And you know what that needs to have also is it needs to be a collection of everything they've tried in the past. So if you want to play squadrons in Battlefront 3, you will be able to play squadron mode in Battlefront 3. Like, give me that.
I mean, look at the size of something like Helldivers.
I still have squadrons downloaded.
Right. I still have squadrons too. But at that point, if you can then take that fight into space, right? Then you're having space fights on Camino, but then you finish your enemy, you come down to support. Oh, you get dragged back out.
Dude, if we're in first person and the three of us run to a ship and we can fly up to like the space station that's orbiting and fight in there too.
But that's exactly what I'm saying is that
like Battlefield, like a Battlefield style with the tanks and the jets and all that stuff.
The groundwork already exists.
Exactly.
The transition from planet to space. It was there in the canceled and unfinished Battlefront 3 from back in the day. There is test footage out there showing it. I forget the studio.
Well, I feel like everyone's trying to do that now too. Like that is the thing. A lot of games are trying to master is that off-world, on-world transition with no load screens.
That was the thing. The idea was supposed to have basically two battles happening simultaneously where players can cross paths into either at any time.
That's cool.
And the groundwork was laid out for that. But I mean, this was going way back, right? So for the system to be able to handle that was probably a hard no.
Right, but the technology is finally caught up though to what they were trying to do back then. So that's what I'm saying is you re-release Battlefront so that you can find the interest. When your servers crash, you see the interest level. You see how many people. I have it downloaded on my PS5 already. I'm counting the days down. Right.
Yeah, I got the timer.
Right. So you have all of this. You have all this interest. You watch your servers crash, thinking that it's not going to be a hype thing. That everybody and their mom, we're all going to be on for days because it's 64 people. You can literally have everybody you know in one lobby. Right. They see the interest in this. They just acquire. They just so happen.
To acquire one of the most advanced gaming technologies on the market.
I'm just saying. Coincidences
Bro,
in business
you are the guy from Always Sunny. That's where the voice is now. When he's doing the Pablo Escobar thing on the wall, trying to explain.
I'm just look. It's very plausible that this is a test run to see interest level. If interest level is hyped and interest level is high, I could see within a year a Lucasfilm Gaming release saying Battlefront 3 on the Unreal Engine through a collaboration through Epic Gaming and Lucasfilm Games will now be released in 2026, whatever it's going to take. But there's a reason they didn't just buy this to do animation.
No.
Right? There's a reason they started Lucasfilm Games, and now they're going to move forward buying the technology they need to make it happen. It's real simple. You know, buy some Disney stock. Buy a share at a time.
Not financial advice.
I mean, dude, look, there's the mouse is never going out of business.
Yeah.
Right?
It is down pretty bad right now, isn't it?
It's down real bad right now. That's what I'm saying. Buy a couple shares. You never know. I mean, it was down to like 90 something a share.
Still waiting for AMC to pop off again.
You know, now we're going to be, you know, instead of buying V-Bucks, we're going to be buying Republic credits, and we're going to be
exactly. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Long live the Empire.
All the other currencies we learned about from the Bounty Hunter Guild and everything.
Bro, I want them to go so
Calamari
far
flan.
as to make. Somebody was telling me they've already made a version of Sabacc that is playable with rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's been around for.
And I'm like, why are there not Sabacc tournaments? Why are we not? Why have we not played? Why is there not a snap version of this on?
Why are we not playing for Starship Pink Slips?
You know, exactly.
Why don't I own a Starship? It's 2024. Back in the 90s, when all these movies came out, they told me I would own a Starship by now. Where is my Starship?
This man speaks truth. We're supposed to be folding our cars up into suitcases after.
Isn't Skynet next year, 2025? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Someone Google that.
Oh yeah. No, we're coming up on another Judgment Day. Whatever happened with all that.
John Connor is supposed to be born tomorrow or something.
I mean, the 2015 from Back to the Future is already gone. So,
yeah.
But look, the gaming. I don't think that the gaming in Star Wars is necessarily in a bad place, right? Yes, things don't always come to fruition. Yes, this is, you know, a setback on something that maybe some people were excited about, but ultimately, potentially by the end of this year, we could have Outlaws out. It's a little bit more open world, a little bit more what people are looking for. Again, I think the Battlefront release is going to crash servers. We could see a resurgence from that perspective with Lucasfilm Games, because that was a Lucasfilm game, right?
That was LucasArts. They teamed up with Pandemic for the original, and then I forget who joined in for part 2 in 2005, but it was I mean, even back then those servers were struggling because it was constant, like just people were on that all the time. And now with the original releases still available, by the way, you can still get them on Steam and all that stuff. Players have lit up servers. There's fan servers, so you can go play online. But the thing about this new one is going to be, there's so many benefits to this. It's one, you're not going to be fighting resolution issues. This thing's going to be fully upgraded and set for modern systems. You're not going to be dealing with smaller servers. You're not going to be dealing with connectivity issues. Like it's going to be completely modified and updated for everything, like full control over this thing. And it's on everything. So PC players and everything. But here's the thing. And I'm wondering if the concern about the server overload is the reason for this. Still, like the release is right around the corner at this point. No word on crossplay.
Right.
There's cross-platform, cross generation, meaning like a PS5 can play with PS4 and Xbox can play with the other Xbox, you know, and all that. But no crossplay yet. And I'm wondering, because if they keep it separated, correct me if I'm wrong, that's different servers for every individual platform, right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, so they're going to have to, I mean, it's even coming out on the Nintendo Switch, guys, and we all know that Nintendo servers have not been the greatest. So
Well, like I mean,
So it'll look about the same on that. You mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the upgrades package won't be active on the Switch.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Nintendo.
that was harsh.
They're always going to be the little brother, dude. It's like they do it to
they started
themselves.
it
Okay,
all, and they're the little brother.
their
right?
last biggest announcement was the OLED Switch. Like,
No,
bro,
the
that
last
should
big
no,
announcement
sorry,
was
Nintendo. That should have been
Mario
your first
Kart,
Switch.
extra Mario Kart maps. That was their last big announcement.
Yeah,
Was
like
extra
your
Mario
first Switch should have had that OLED screen. You know it.
The nice thing is that this is Aspire back in the seat with the remaster, which they
right.
did Jedi Academy, Republic Commando, Jedi Outcast, all those re-releases, Pod Racer, which play great on the Switch, by the way. They play great on everything. All nicely cleaned up. But the big difference this time is that those they cleaned up. This is a legit remaster. So it's we're getting a bit more than a fresh coat of paint on this
Does
game.
it really matter anymore if there's cross? I mean, okay, yes. Look, I love cross chat. Right? I love proximity chat. I think Fortnite should have proximity chat because I would love to listen to little kids cry when I kill them. But having proximity chat would be awesome. But I don't know how necessary it is. And if there isn't cross chat, but there's still cross play, does that really matter in 2024? Because we have Discord servers that we can all jump in and coordinate, that doesn't really matter anymore.
Well, that's the thing, is that the biggest thing is that, like, so if I'm playing on the Switch, I can't play with you on your PlayStation. Like, that's going to be the problem.
Right.
But if we're all, if we get a group that's all on the hey, what's up, chillin'? If we get a group that's all on the same platform, and then we all jump into a VC on Discord, it doesn't matter what the chat functionality
I know that this group all has a PlayStation, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm just saying, I having been playing Call of Duty for a little bit and playing Warfare, I could tell you that you mouse and keyboard fuckers have a shrewd advantage. All right, I can tell who's using mouse and keyboard and who's using controller just by the way that they move when they kill me, right? So we'll have to see. I mean, honestly, I like the PlayStation only, the Xbox only release, only because then I know I'm playing with equal players, right? But I feel like it would be better if everybody could play together.
Yeah, like Fortnite's cross everything. Like everybody's mixed in those.
Right.
Though I might be wrong about this, but I have a strong feeling that depending on what you logged in on, it tries to bring same platform together as much as they can. But I have no real basis behind that. I just always had a feeling that was the case. Right. This is, I'm telling you, man, this is going to make for some incredible streams for so many people, so many channels, that because, like you said, you just invite everybody.
Everybody.
Get everybody in there. I mean, I want to see our Discords blow up with this. Like, just every day, somebody in there playing Battlefront and just going ham on this thing, because it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be busy. It's going to be real busy. The servers are going to have a hard time keeping up. But we'll see. Again, I think this release is just a preamble to more. I mean, I don't think you buy the technology like the Unreal Engine and have an ownership stake in that kind of technology unless you plan on using it for more than just animation, for more than just creating cartoons. So, we'll have to wait and see. The other big thing I kind of wanted to go through before we get into the free-for-all is Samuel L. Jackson is on the campaign trail. It is 2024. It is election year, but he's on the campaign trail for another reason. He is lobbying real hard across the metaverse and the print media for the return of Mace Windu. After seeing the success or lack of success, you guys can tell me in chat, of Kenobi, but the fact that the character was reprised, the fact that whether the success or lack of the Book of Boba Fett, again, a character reprised their role. He has been jockeying for this revival of Mace Windu.
Yeah.
I had to switch my light to purple.
Nice.
I saw that picture though. That was recent, right?
You're talking about the
Wasn't it in entertainment?
Empire?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
It was. And look, I mean,
He has always said that he still believes he's alive. So Jedi have fallen from great heights and survived. It is facts. It is canon.
We didn't see him hit.
Well, I mean, look, the only things that we really know are that he got his arm cut off, and so we're talking about this guy, right? Where are you? Talking about this guy?
No one's ever really gone.
We're talking about this picture, right? That was on in Empire. I mean, look, he's been very vocal about wanting to reprise that role. The only things that we 100% know is that he got his arm cut off and he got electrocuted by the palps, and he got thrown out of a window with some force electricity. So we don't know what happened on the fall. We don't know how
just a flesh wound.
We don't know how far he fell. We don't know.
Knock your bloody arms off.
After all, we've seen people lose arms in the show before. We've seen people lose entire bottom torsos in Maul. We've seen Luke's hand. We've seen Anakin's hands. There's a lot of mechanical limbs in this show, in this universe. So we've seen Ahsoka, we've seen Luke, we've seen, Kenobi and all these other, Jedi that fall great distances and survive. We don't know how far he was falling, right? He could have landed in a car like Kenobi or like Anakin when he was, chasing the bounty hunter. I'm very sorry, Master.
Nice.
But
I think the fans have proven this time and time again. Clone Wars lives, Ahsoka lives, like Mace Windu lives. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Look, it's gonna happen. Lives. I am on a Twitter /
and if they ruin him, I blame you. I'm easy. It's a win-win, Chad.
Look, he's gotta die, right? Look, okay, so here's my thing. Here's my big argument. He's gotta die, right? And would you say that Kenobi, the end of Kenobi, is about what, 10 years after the fall of the Empire? Or after the fall of the Republic?
Yeah, it's 10 years after Order 66.
Okay, so Luke is like
after Zero BBY.
After Zero BBY. So Luke's about 10 years old, right? And then we see in Rebels when Maul comes for Kenobi, how far along do we think that's about, like 16 years old, Luke? Like, what are we feeling there? Like, how far do we feel that is from the OT? Right? Is that like 3 years from the OT? Is that like 2 years from the OT? Where do we feel like the Rebel scene is at?
It's gotta be. Wait, which scene?
The scene in Rebels where after Maul gets cut in half, right there. How far before the OT do we think that is? Okay, Chillin says 15-year-old Luke. So
yeah, it's only a little ways off because Luke was what, 17 in A New Hope? 19?
So Maul, you're trying to pin down like when Maul finds Kenobi versus
Maul finds
when Kenobi and Luke leave.
Right. So 5 years after Kenobi is the Maul scene, right? So after when he says hello there to Luke, that's 5 years before Maul shows up.
Damn.
In that 5 years, something has to happen to Kenobi to make him old man Ben Kenobi. Right? because we see Old Man Ben defeat
I
Maul.
see.
Yeah.
Right. So something in those 5 years has to happen. The Emperor can't find him. Otherwise, Luke is like, that's it.
No.
Right. So the Empire couldn't have done this. The only person that could find maybe a Luke Skywalker and have the use of Force lightning having gone evil would be a Mace Windu. And we need to see how Old Man Kenobi becomes Old Man Kenobi in 5 years. The only way that that happens is through a Force lightning like the Emperor, right? Now, whether that was a mask or that was his true form, they did it. I love it when they do that. If you're in StreamYard or you're in I don't know if it's just an Apple thing, but when you do this, it's like it thinks it's party time, so it sends balloons. But if we need to see that aging happen, and that aging can't just be from 5 years in the sun because he just spent 10 years in the sun, right? So
I'm calling it here. Ahmed Best is in the mocap as we speak. He's Darth Jar Jar. He finds Kenobi.
I love a Darth Jar Jar. Don't fuck with my emotions.
Seeing Darth Jar Jar is enough to turn anybody gray.
I love it. I love a Darth Jar Jar. But I feel like the only thing that could make that happen would be I mean, what else could it be? Severe aging? World between world, death sticks.
He found that kid. I was like, you know what? I will buy some death sticks.
There's a lot of room there for, again, Samuel L. Jackson wants his own show. He wants it to be titled Mace Windu, I'm sure. Right? He's probably not going to get that. Right? So why not include him in a second season of a show that everybody on the Disney side of things wants? They're trying to figure out a way to do it.
I'll be honest, I kind of want that. I want like a young Mace Windu. You could even do Samuel L. at almost the end of his time, maybe he made a holocron, and
he's been de-aged before, Samuel L. Jackson.
While he's building his holocron, the show is taking place, and it's like it's a memoir of his life or something, bro. Well, give me the John Malkovich Mace Windu writing his own story.
In there twisting an Oreo.
Yes.
I just feel like
it's on this half. I killed Dooku. If it wasn't, I stole his seat on the Senate. Bitch.
Could it be? But that's just that's exactly what I'm saying. Could it be? Could we get okay? So here's I'm just gonna give you my because I kind of want to cut. I kind of think I'm gonna cut a trailer.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna cut a trailer. I might have to find a Mace lookalike, if you will. I have the cloaks here, which is no big deal, but I think I may cut a trailer of what I would like to see because there's so many sound bites, right, that can lead you to this idea in my head that I'm trying. So Samuel L. Jackson, this is the metaverse. Get at me, bro. I'm hitting you up on the Twitter. Get at me. I got an idea that they'll bite. They'll bite, bro. I'm telling you, they'll bite. I got it in here. You're gonna die in the end, but I got it.
It's inevitable.
But you're gonna look awesome. You're not gonna fly out a window this time, okay? You're gonna get Kenobi'd.
You're gonna get pushed out of a bus door.
But yeah, I mean, the idea that he is so into it and bidding for it is interesting because there's not a lot of. I mean, I would love to see Natalie Portman reprise a Padme role.
Yeah, in
this kind of thing, right? I mean,
and listen, if they're doing Mace, it's got to be something compelling. Like 60-year-old, 70-year-old shows up, like Kenobi and everybody's already dead. Shows up.
So you're talking about like that Vader, like you're talking about
have him just be like the random homie on Malachos or whatever it is. Like he's just because last we knew he was on Coruscant. What if he's just in the underground now? What if he's down in the Sith temple underneath?
That's what I want. That's what I want to happen. I want him to.
He's got to show up out of the blue though, like
that's
years later. I think.
Well, that's the
have
idea.
a huge impact.
It's 14 years later after the Empire, since he's been in the basement, hiding
where we
in the
least
basement.
expect him.
I mean, he was right there where we know the temple was built on top of an old Sith temple. What if Palps had him down there, like locked away?
What if his fall he hit a ceiling and he wakes up and he's down there?
That's kind of where I'm at. And see, I want Mace.
What if he has to tap into the dark side in that moment to stay alive?
I want Mace, because that's kind of always why his lightsaber was purple, right? Because he always kind of rode the dragon, right? He straddled between both worlds, between Shatterpoint and between Shatterpoint and the other abilities that he had. He was straddling between light and dark. That's why his lightsaber was purple, right? At least that's the idea behind it. So I'm going to give you a real quick version, and for the few people that are here, I'm going to give you a real quick version of my trailer. So all on a dark screen, right? All you hear is Palpatine saying, "I can save the one you love. I can save the one you love," right? And as his eyes start to open, he's like, who does he love? Wait, what? Like, it's one of those eye-opening moments where he realizes, and then you see flashes of Padme pregnant and them always together and bop, 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 bop. And he starts to put the math together, right? On that could have been Anakin's kids. And so he starts to go on the hunt. He ends up back on Naboo at her burial site, starts to do some investigating into, here's about a Skywalker on Tatooine, shooting womp rats.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of this and that. And then he, shows up at Kenobi.
Oh,
like I said, that line keeps catching me, right? I can save the one you love. I can save the one you love, right? He's saying that to Anakin as Anakin is being tested. That's the thing that pushes him over the edge. Is like, I need him, right?
That would be kind of crazy poetry, because it's Anakin and Obi-Wan who both, more or less, like Maul's betrayed too by the Jedi. So it's the two of them who've betrayed people, and those two people's anger that comes back and just, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
He could even say the quote again, just this time referring to Luke, just saying he's too powerful to be kept alive.
Well, I mean, one step further. I mean, you get those moments of hate from Anakin, right? Like, Mace always hated him.
Yeah,
right?
Talking about Luke.
Like, have him, like, the conflict moment in this show, like the big payoff in this show would be Mace and Kenobi, just like Mace and Maul in the desert without the fire, right? With the homestead of Owen and Veru in the distance. And there's Kenobi standing between Mace and the homestead. And he just tells him, and he still tries to call him master, right? Because he's still Kenobi's always that bleeding heart that's looking for the good in people, right? And so he's pleading to him, master, please don't do this. You don't understand. He's the hope. He's our last hope. And then Mace, filled with his rage, how can you protect the son of the man who destroyed our order, right? And then boom, it's like, well, then I'll do what I must. And then that same line comes through over and over and over again, right? Well, then you're forcing me to do what I won't do, what I don't want to do. Like, that's Kenobi's curse, right? By taking on Anakin, he kind of cursed himself. So he's got to fight somebody he loved. And so it's ironic that the two that are buried next to each other are somebody that he loved and somebody that he hated in the same breath, right? Like, that's why that last scene of like a drone shot panning back from Kenobi's homestead, and there's just two graves side by side. a Jedi Master and a Sith Master. Like, how brilliant is
Mm-hmm.
that? Right? Like, that's what they should be fishing for, right? And then he could ask, you know, have you seen my hand?
Mhm.
I mean, yes, he could show up in the time of Luke, right? He could have been in that Sith temple for 40 years, right? Or 30 years
Mhm.
until, you know, and all that, but then it kind of negates Kylo Ren, it kind of negates all that. That's why there's this.
Well, I want them to start doing more ambitious stuff like that with like even Ronin. Like take the Ronin book and live action adapt that. They are doing
yeah.
comics, by the way. They're doing Ronin comics that are prequels to that. But that's a whole alternate history. Like give me the alternate history. Like Order 66, there were multiple Sith orders and multiple Jedi orders. So it wasn't just one big collective in the Ronin book. But like, yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time to expand into stories like that.
Well, and look, I mean,
No more dipping your toe in the water with like the animated stuff. Just go all in.
The Theory Vader fan film. It's an amazing accomplishment. I've seen the Vader 2
the
animated
CG
trailer.
Yeah.
His ideas are great.
Mm-hmm.
But that puts Mace in an interesting perspective, right? Yes, revenge is a powerful motivator, but at this point, I feel like we have to get. Dave is doing such a good job building bridges right now. The Bad Batch is doing an amazing job constructing a giant bridge between the prequels, the Clone Wars, and the sequels. I mean, Theory, it's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite clipped video on the internet right now. Is watching Theory shit his pants.
Fuck! It's going to the sequels.
And they're going to the sequels. Like, that's probably my favorite clip thing on the internet right now. I gotta be honest. I watch it every day.
Where we're going.
I got it clipped. I watch it every day. It motivates me very much. But yeah, he's doing an amazing job building a bridge between the two stories, which is what I've been saying for 4 years now. That these stories are going to come together, right? He's gonna lead us to how to get there. And seeing all of these clones, seeing all of these cloning facilities, seeing Hemlock, Mount Tantus, you know, all of this stuff. Yeah, this is kind of where we were always headed, right?
Dude, all the red tanks,
bro. All the Jedi in those red tanks.
So why? Okay, yeah, but so why? Okay, can we talk about it?
Sure, yeah.
So why all the tanks and why Omega then? Why is she the key?
Okay, go ahead, Matt. You want to start?
You got all these Jedi in your.
I have a thought about Omega.
This is great because tomorrow night is Omega night. So
tomorrow's that's right. Tomorrow, yeah.
Omega night. So this is actually at midnight, but I don't stay up.
Omega night.
Yeah, no, it's like 3 a.m. for me when that comes out.
It's too late. I need my rest.
You know what I do is I watch the new episode early in the morning before I take the kids to the bus stop for school.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I usually do like an afternoon stream where I talk about it and we'll break it down as we go through it. But yeah.
So my thought about Omega is that I don't think she has any midichlorian count.
She does not. 100%.
I think the deal with her is that because she was an unaltered, initially an unaltered clone, just like Boba, but then also she was modified in a different way from all the way because she doesn't have increased aging.
Correct. She doesn't have age manipulation.
She's just like Boba, but I always forget her name. The Nala Se. Yeah, I always forget which one is the one that's with her.
Nala
Se. She did something with Omega that's different. There's something about her, like her cloning process had some sort of an alteration that, for whatever reason, what Palpatine's trying to do, bringing in high midichlorian count blood into that. That's going to be the key of saying like, okay, I need this combination to do what I'm trying to do here.
Correct. So
but I know a lot of people are getting all mad and everything because they're like, oh, she's going to have the
She's
force.
like the binding agent.
Nah.
she is thank you. You took the words right out of my brain. She is the binding agent. So she does not have any metachlorines. She does not have the force. I do not think she is an unaltered clone. She is so we hear in the first season of Bad Batch, as soon as the boys come back from their mission and they see the Jedi lightsaber and they see the clones carrying the Jedi away, we see Tarkin come and talk to Nala Se and Lama Su, and they hide her from the Empire because she is the most valuable asset on Kamino.
Yeah.
And so what they did without permission from the Republic and without telling anybody, they took Boba's DNA, they made some tweaks, knowing they already knew this was going to happen. So Nala Se was hiding her DNA from being infused with Force blood because it would have come up positive. She knew, yes, absolutely, chilling. She knew
Omega has metachlorine
because she did this experiment in her lab already with the Jedi's blood on Kamino. She's already done this experiment. She knows that the cohesion happens. And so she created in a special lab away from all other clones, away from all other technicians. The only two people that knew about Omega's creation was Lama Se and Nala Se and Lama Su, the head of Kamino and the lead cloning scientist. Right? So
you know what this is? Oh my God. Daniel Fisher just made me think about this. Scott, I don't know if you played this at all. All right. Dude, it's Metal Gear. It's fucking Liquid Snake and Solid Snake.
Yes.
The children of Big Boss.
Yes.
It's holy crap. My mind just got.
Yeah.
Oh,
So basically, Omega was created knowing that at some point Palpatine was going to want a force sensitive clones, right? He was going to want to make an army of force sensitive clones. They did this to get to the next level. That's why when Tarkin says your services are no longer going to be required, that's why he's like, whoa, we have things you don't even know about. And he's like, it doesn't matter. You're done. Right? So they were planning to sell this to the Empire initially. But once Nala Se realized they killed everybody, she's like, fuck y'all.
Pack it up.
I'm done. Right? Do you think she doesn't know how to create another Omega? She absolutely knows that. Why they aren't torturing her for this information right now is kind of a dumb idea.
So
right?
Wait, okay, back up. Do you think that so you think Omega is a synthetic birth created by
Nala Se,
Kaminoans?
100%.
And that they were able to like manifest metachlorians from nothing?
No.
She doesn't have metachlorines.
Yeah,
she
no metachlorines in her.
Agent. She is just a cell for cohesion to a human form clone that can accept
I think it's metachlorines.
She is her blood is able to accept metachlorines and then become force sensitive. So if she was given Jedi blood, she would then have the force.
Because she obviously she's still a living being, right? She's going to have some sort of midichlorian count by the
yes, by the great
right?
yes, even
but
clones,
not the levels of what we're talking about. But she's that midpoint. She's that cohesion point that's going to allow these two combinations to mix.
Right.
Like Daniel's saying, universal blood type, right? Yeah. It's like this just perfect being that can handle all of this.
Yeah, she doesn't have the force. She doesn't have a high metachlorine count. She's not like, oh, I feel Hunter. No. Otherwise, she would have said something like that at this point. The fact that they were trying to hide her, the fact that Nala Se kept throwing her blood in the trash means she already knew the test was going to come up positive. and that they were going to dissect.
Chat, has Omega not displayed sensitivities of the Force so far? I'm asking chat.
Yeah,
you guys can answer.
I'm curious what chat said, but I rewatched.
I'm really pushing back on
the first
this.
2 seasons.
I know, it's great.
Specifically looking for moments.
She doesn't. She is. Now, this is why I think that Hunter and the Bad Batch are clones of her, not Jango's original sample, because that's why they all have special abilities that she's very good at. She's very tech. She's a very good shot. She's a giant kid like Wrecker.
Who's Emery Carr a clone of? Like, who are they clones?
An original Jango clone, but altered just the sex. So
why doesn't she look like
she will Omega when she gets older?
She will. Yeah,
Omega will look like
voice
her.
Actress.
Yes,
right.
Dark hair. She dyed it or something.
Well, that's another. That could be another representation of Omega's uniqueness. That's why they're trying. They're trying to make her a clone that's unique to all the rest.
Okay. Next question though. The older sister. Why is she not already being used as this?
Because she was literally the clones that they made, the original batch of clones. She is just like them, right? Only altered, just like
Jurassic Parked her. They just
she's the female version because they were going to use the females.
Chat, try to keep up.
They were going to use the female clones in the battle stations initially, but the Empire, the Republic didn't want female officers. They wanted all the same male clones. Okay, so they kiboshed the female, and that's
last question.
She even says Hemlock found a use for me, because she was deemed useless as a female clone of Jango Fett.
Okay. Last question. If Omega is an unaltered clone, right? Unaltered clone, right? And her blood is the blood that is supposed to be a conduit, right?
Well, she's altered, but yes.
Would also,
in a different way, but yes.
How is she altered?
Well, obviously,
I thought she was unaltered DNA.
Well, no, her genetic code has to be altered because she doesn't have the age alterations, but she does have some kind of alterations that allow her blood to accept the metachlorine DNA. So yes, she has been tampered with, but not in the same way as the other clones. She doesn't have an inhibitor chip. She doesn't have age progression. She is literally an aged, a grown clone that has the ability to have cellular cohesion with metachlorines.
So on this whole genome optimization thing, you know, you have like your 9 different whatever points. I think you are onto something, and that like her DNA strain, as far as we know, on where the metachlorians fit into that little, you know what they call it, you know what I'm saying? And based on the pattern they're in, that's who you are. What if hers are just empty?
Exactly.
And all of those, they're filling in all these power sets, and that's how they get a Snoke.
When the blood drops into her sample after she's escaped, you see it go green, because that means that her blood has cellular cohesion with the metachlorine blood,
you know,
right? And so that sample is now an indicator that Palpatine can start making force sensitive bodies to try to essence transfer. This is all Project Necromancer, right?
And even back in season 2, right, just towards the end of season 2, the way under the water secret lab where she even talks to the Bad Batch. She's like, this is where we were all born. Like,
right. But she watched all of them be born. That's why they're a sample of her, because they're taking traits that she has, because they altered her DNA a little bit to make her this perfect specimen to accept force metachlorines, right? So she can shoot. She's techie. She's smart, right? Like she's got all these traits that they amplified in her.
Back to 7th grade biology.
Yeah.
But basically now they know that they could put Palpatine's DNA in her and create a force sensitive baby, basically. Right? Between those two. Like that's why I was joking the other day, like, oh,
Palpatine Fox! Ah!
Is that why they told us Palpatine fucks? Because they're gonna make Omega create the first clone baby, right? With Palpatine's blood. Like, is this gonna be like? That's why I was joking. Like, oh, is that why they're saying Palpatine fucks? Because this is gonna be like a really awful experiment.
He doesn't want the age progression in that. Like, it's gonna be.
I don't think she has age progression.
No, I'm saying, but for Palpatine's like his ultimate goal, let the clone grow.
That's what I'm saying. Let her grow up, trap her, catch her.
Bro, you know what? Snoke has some baby blue.
Could
eyes.
This be Rey's mother?
Just saying. Or
could this be Rey's father's mother? Right? Could this be the unsuccessful Strencast clone from Omega's DNA with Palpatine's DNA? Right? I don't think so. I think she is the sample that creates Snoke, right? So when they opened that red cage, I think that might have been even somebody we've seen before captured by the Empire. That could have been Master Luminara. Because remember, we know they caught her and then used her body to lure other young Jedi in Rebels. Could that have been Master Luminara? And they literally sucked all the blood, like emptied her blood to use in the experiment and
kept her up an image of her in that scene. Because
do that. And while you're doing that, did I ever? Go ahead.
Well, if you think back to, if I'm remembering this correctly, because like you see her and then the false image goes away.
Yep.
She didn't just look decomposed. She looked drained.
She looks. I don't want to. This is a term fighters use, but she looked sucked out. She looked like she had all the moisture in her body completely removed.
I don't know if this is gonna work because it's a screen of a screen. But did I ever show you? I did a young Snoke. I made a version of him like Boss Logic does.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that Ed Harris?
That would be
It is Ed Harris. It's perfect.
Wow. You're just gonna see him yelling over a clone trying to bring it to life. Fight!
And I made that back in like 2018. Or whenever that shit came out.
That's great.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so you want after she goes into her cage, right?
Yeah, and then she like kind of fades away, and then we see what's left of her.
Hold on, I'm at the point where she's walking away, and she goes. Okay, so there's another thing I want to talk about in this, but so she fades to here, right? Let me share. Okay. So,
God, I missed this.
So this is the image,
dude. What the fuck? What are we looking at?
Master Luminara in Rebels. When they find her during Rise of Old Master, when they hear a rumor of a Jedi Master that was imprisoned, and this is the moment where she goes from here. I'll just she goes from. Oh, sorry.
Oh, and these are all like their tombs or whatever?
Yeah.
This. Okay, so she goes from this. Where are you? Okay, from this. That is almost like a vision, like it's fake. It's a hologram. To this, where this looks like they literally drained her blood like a mummy.
Yes, sir.
And so that's why I'm saying one of those pages could have Master Luminara, and they drained her entire blood from all of her body for the Snoke projects, for Project Necromancer. That's why I'm saying all of those cages have Jedi inside of them, except maybe the middle one. I think the middle one might have the Zillo Beast, like the clone of the Zillo Beast, because it's huge. But I have a feeling that Master Luminara and potentially Barriss and the rest
dude's gonna have Zillo Beast DNA.
I mean, that's what Palpatine wanted. He always wanted to make weapons and
armor
and stuff out of the Zillo Beast. Why wouldn't you try to create an external skin like Predator if you're already doing all this cloning and all this mutation?
Did you see how frail Snoke was?
Right. But I mean, look, this is what I've been saying is that I think all of those cages have Jedi masters that they captured and didn't kill, and maybe the prisoners from the Jedi jail, right, where Barriss and the other Jedi gone wrong are captured, right? So this is a I really do think that those are the Jedi in there, and that their blood is being drained for this project, and they don't have to do anything. They just have to.
Palpatine.
Hey man, like I said, I think I'm excited where the Bad Batch is going, because I would like to see the birth of Snoke. I would like to see, you know, look, I've been saying it for a while. I think everybody died. I think
want to see that in live action.
The birth of Snoke, really?
Like, put it in Mandalorian and Grogu. Put it in there.
I agree. I mean, we're
the villain of that show, you know, like
we've already seen one of Clone Snoke in Mando. It's
I
already happening.
need the Frankenstein. It's alive. Like, I need to see Bro, you don't need to see Palpatine's essence transfer actually happen.
I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But yes, I want to see
it's
it.
It's like Zero BBY all over again.
Where we're going, though. But that's what I keep saying. That's why people like Theory. Look, you're the largest YouTuber in Star Wars. Great. You're also lying to yourself, right? You're outright sitting here lying to yourself. If you've really watched all the content and you've read all the books and you're the smartest Star Wars person that ever lived.
He's memeing, right? When he goes, it's going back to the goddamn sequels again. I'll tell you.
Dude, no, he hates the sequels. Genuinely hates the sequels.
His sheriff character, that whole shit got me. That was actually good. Like back in the day when he used to troll the fans and himself, the fans were out to get him, and he was the sheriff. The sheriff was looking for Theory. You remember that shit? That was good. That was good. Like more of
like, oh, nobody knew how Palpatine returned. This is how he returns, man. I mean, I get it. Nobody wants, you guys that hate the sequels don't want to see it. I get it. I'm with you. But ultimately, this is the road we're heading to. And so for me, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room right now for these stories, these Mace stories, these these Mando stories, this whole cloning thing is huge, because it leads us right into Mando, which we've already seen a Snoke clone that may be a backup. Maybe Snoke's already alive, and we do see the birth of Snoke in Bad Batch. Maybe that's the season finale. I think this is going to be another Rogue One.
Bro, what if it's like 5 Snokes and we only met one?
Well, we know there's multiple. Like, a bunch failed. I mean, they had those backup Snokes in Rise of Skywalker. They were sitting there in the tube.
You get a Snoke. You get a Snoke. Everybody gets a Snoke.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's coming anyway. I just think that this has a very Rogue One feel to it, and to me, it seems like the Bad Batch is going to end like Rogue One. Everybody dies, right? Like, I just feel like the Bad Batch are all going to die. They're going to capture Omega. They're going to dissect Omega to get what they need to create Snoke, and then maybe in an epilogue scene, we'll get to see the birth of Snoke and the essence transfer.
Well, see, the thing that they have going for themselves is that their story is not going to catch up with where we're at now. So, like, they could still be alive. They could. Any character in this, any character in Ahsoka, any character in an Andor, technically, you don't until those shows go beyond our timeline where we're at.
Well, what I anticipate now, this is what I anticipate,
because we've seen other old clones. We've seen them,
like Rex Kenobi all the way through Return of the Jedi.
But Rex and Wolf and Gregor were the last 3 that were given a decommission from the Empire, right? So, we do see a clone in Kenobi, but that's not in the Rebels timeline, right? Or that's not.
I think this group's able to disappear, I guess, is my.
Well, here's my thing: is that the Empire knew where they were, because Wolf reported to them when they saw Jedi.
Well, there won't be an Empire after this. In theory, a First Order won't be interested in any of this nonsense.
Right. But during Rebels, right, is what I'm getting to. During Rebels, those 3 clones were made it seem like they were all that's left. And so when we see Rex, Gregor, and Wolf, it seems to me like we're going to get a clone uprising by the end of this season, and that's when they start decommissioning clones, and that these guys made a deal to get out, because Rex mentions a couple of silly things in Rebels, like Cody and I created these codes, right, for the Empire. And the Empire decommissioned us and leaves us alone out here, right? Like, he made these really interesting comments that makes it seem like they were let go and kept an eye on, and the rest of the clones are all dead. It seems like these 3 might have been the last 3 clone commanders during the clone uprising, because it seems like with Omega and Crosshair getting out of Tantus, and the last season with the Senator trying to help the clones with clone rights, the clones are getting shit on galaxy wide. So it seems like they're going to potentially storm Tantus, and that's when they all.
I could see that happening, but yeah, I feel like these guys are very much outlier as far as the whole show is created for them, kind of thing. So to not bring them into this big Filoni live action verse thing you're doing is kind of a missed opportunity, I think.
There was also the show that created a bunch of characters that they all died at the end of, that we have now a prequel of with Cassian Andor.
You know, what are you talking about?
With Rogue One. They all died.
Yeah, but that was to tell how they died. That movie was Disney made for that.
Disney
purpose.
can go dark. I don't think the Bad Batch guys could have survived without being with Rex, right? I mean, wouldn't you say like they would go with
Wasn't Rex supposed to be in Ahsoka and all this stuff too?
Well, that was the word. You know, that was a lie.
So season 2, well, I mean, we saw concept art and everything drawn by Dave. So I mean,
unless there's
what if he shows up in season 2, then Bad Batch still alive?
Well, I mean, Rex was always alive, though. I mean, if the whole Bad Batch showed up, that'd be dope. But I just think it just seems like their characters are completely expendable, right?
Yeah.
Tech died, didn't affect any future content.
And after all they've been through, you think Disney going to kill them on the fans? I just don't know, man.
I
don't think this group's important enough to have that. Like, not that they're not important, but like the impact is just gonna piss people off. It's not gonna be like.
I think they already have a replacement.
It's gonna make people mad.
A replacement?
Yeah, and I think the replacement has existed for a long time. I forget whose stream I was on. I gotta dig this up. I made a prediction and a hope a long time ago, so it's on record somewhere of me saying this. And this was back at like the finale of season 1. I think that they could bring in Inferno Squad. And Inferno Squad from Battlefront 2, EA's Battlefront 2, which is Disney Star Wars, which leads into the sequels and has really important story points that are still considered canon. I think Inferno Squad comes in. They're the ones that take out the Bad Batch and take out the rest of this. And then we have Inferno Squad's story, which does go on in novels, and then into that game. It leads us to the Battle of Jakku, where we see all the wreckage in Force Awakens. It leads into the missions that Luke goes on with Lando. It leads into the sequels perfectly. The bridge is there. They just need to get the Bad Batch out of the way. And I remember hoping, I was like, oh, they could bring in the Republic Commandos.
No, they did.
They did. Like, they're there, like, kind of just here and there. But at this point, it wouldn't make any sense for them to be what they were in that game. But Inferno Squad, they can be that spot. And they're the Empire's command. They're their specialty team.
Right.
And they had their snipers, they had their wrecker, they had their whole thing. They had that whole group that went on tons of missions. And there's really good books out there, actually, that follow the Inferno Squad. They were there in the battle of Yavin. They were there in the Death Star battle. In fact,
they were at the Zero BBY. They warmed up right after, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Iden Versio herself.
Iden Versio. There you go. Yeah. Yep.
Well, it does
Gideon
seem
has.
like they look. I know the people that don't like the sequels don't like it, but ultimately these guys are this whole thing is leading that direction. This is just a giant bridge, and whether everybody dies or not, I just think it's an obvious out. But ultimately, I think they got to tell us what happened to Cody, and they got to show us how the boys get exiled.
Yeah.
Bro, that would be a hell of a transition of doing like a light side ancillary hero group transition over to Inferno Squadron, tell from the other perspective, just like they did in the video games.
I'd watch that.
That'd be cool.
I mean, it just seems like with the amount of animators that they're hiring right now, that the content for animation is not over, right? And that they could potentially be doing more. But ultimately, you know, this story has to end. If this is going to be the conclusion of the Bad Batch, it just seems like, yeah, they got the song for them's got to end. You know, it just they can't just be out there doing good at the Empire. Now, the real question is, does Vader, like, do they do what they've done in every other show, and do they highlight Vader and make Vader come finish him off? Like, is Vader one of the only entities that can finish the Bad Batch?
I mean, he could definitely finish them, but I feel like they don't have to do that. I think Vader is that hammer to bring down when all else has failed. I think the Empire would want to utilize their resources to make sure they're what they have access to is actually working. And that's why I think something like Inferno Squad would be perfect for that moment. Because, yeah, you could easily just say Vader comes in and takes care of it, which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for seeing Vader in everything, but I don't want him to be used for the sake of just being used. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of the consensus, is like, people don't want to see Vader being used to be used. I think it would be more beneficial to watch the squad get overrun, for them to lead a clone rebellion that ends up getting thwarted. You know, but ultimately from this show, my expectations of the show are very low. I don't have high expectations of this show. Like, for me, I need a couple of little things. I need you to show me how the boys get in the Outer Rim, and I need to know how Cody dies. Like, to me, those, and we need to get Wolf. You know, we still got to rescue Wolf. So these things are still happening. We just need to get there. And that's, you know, that's curious about what, Chill.
He's saying
that random droid was from the one trailer.
Who is CX1?
That is the one that everybody thinks is Tech. Is that what? Am I right?
Yeah, the weird looking clone.
The one that everybody thinks is Tech.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who that guy is. Now, is Asajj going to be? Now, here's
talking about something. I just was going to say something before we moved on, but I forgot what we were talking about before the CX1. Anyway, it's gone now, man. That zero BBY catch you every time.
What?
Shit.
Well, now you made me forget my question. It was the Bad Batch related.
Yep, we were talking about Asajj.
Oh, is Asajj? So a lot of people are thinking that Asajj is maybe escaped Tantus or escaped a prison also. I'm here to put the kibosh on that right now. I'm here to nix that right in the bud. If you remember the last time we see Asajj in the Clone Wars, she is a bounty hunter that gets her lightsaber stolen by a Barriss, an evil Barriss, right? So when we last see her, she's a bounty hunter. At this point, she trades a bounty for her yellow lightsaber, right? So she goes to collect a bounty and she's like, keep your money, I want that lightsaber. And she gets a yellow lightsaber. This is all in Dark Disciple. But if you now when we see, so we know that Hemlock is going to call the bounty hunters. So we're going to get, I personally think the next episode or two will be Bosk, Dengar, potentially Boba.
Fennec Shan.
Fennec
Shan.
Fennec, yes. Cad Bane and Asajj. And Asajj just happens to be a very good bounty hunter because she uses the Force, obviously. And that's when we see her approach the Bad Batch, right? She's coming for Omega. Now, the question is, and Scotty, I think you're going to enjoy this line of questioning. Does this start? Is Omega the first on the path? Do Quinlan and Asajj take Omega from the Bad Batch, and she is the first candidate for the path?
Well, if she's not Force sensitive and she's just the
No, but
conduit,
she's valuable to the Empire, right? It's not about saving just
protecting, right?
It's about saving people from the Empire.
Okay, I like that.
So
I do like that.
Being as we know that Quinlan is involved in the path from seeing his name etched on the wall in Kenobi.
Yes.
Naturally
you would think she's somewhat involved if she's still alive, around.
My thing is we all think Asajj is going to be a bad guy here, right? From the trailers, you see her, she's dodging blaster bolts. Everybody thinks she's still a bad guy. But at this point, has she found Quinlan? Has she found love that makes her not want to be a bad guy anymore? And Quinlan and Asajj start the path together, and Omega is the first candidate to hide from the Empire.
We could even potentially see, I forget her character's name, but the woman in Kenobi.
Yes.
That was helping in the path, that she was like the double agent.
Yes. Could we see our pretend Jedi friend that was pretending to use the Force to people? Could we see somebody like him? Could we see I don't remember the guy who saved Grogu.
Ahmed Best's Jedi.
Kel Beck.
Kelleran.
Beck.
Chat, come on. Where are you at?
He could be doing mocap.
Don't be so quiet now.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's so much opportunity for this to engage in that line, right? Because it's been a while. I mean, obviously it's not been years, but it's been a while since the Empire took over. Kenobi's on Tatooine. The path has been started by Quinlan, or Quinlan's involved. This could be a really good intro to the path. Again, I think Omega is going to die. I think she has to die to lead the Snoke. Because either that or they have to torture Nala Se to get the technology. And maybe that's why Snoke isn't perfect. Because without the cloning facility on Kamino, and maybe they can't duplicate Omega, and that's why Snoke is so fucked up. Because that's the only way that Omega lives, is if Nala Se gets tortured to give all the information to Hemlock to create Snoke. Right? That's the only way she lives. If they capture Omega, they're going to kill her. Right? She's dead. So, which is it? I mean, I know a lot of the Kenobi fans would be like, cool, what a great way to intro the path. And everybody else will be like, oh man, this sucks.
Oh man, this sucks. They're doing it again. Ruin Star Wars. Damn it.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot, and Hayden Christensen is already openly admitted he wants to do more projects. It seems like everybody from the prequels, like I said, I would love to see Natalie Portman reprise a role in some facet, even if it's just flashbacks with Hayden of them together for a Mace Windu story, right? But if Kenobi 2 isn't going to be about Mace, then I don't think there should be a Kenobi season 2. That's the only story, in my opinion, that makes any sense.
Yeah, because it's a difficult point where they left it off at, because the fact that they did not utilize Qui-Gon at all until that last little moment. You can't make an entire season out of just
those two talking in a hut. No,
yeah, that's nothing. Like
Luke Brett blasting swamp rats and womp rats. No,
you know what that is? That's a Tales of the Jedi episode. That's what that is.
Like I said, if you're not going to do it, that's where it gets one step better. Is now that Kenobi can see Master Windu or Master Qui-Gon. How much better would it be if Qui-Gon is saying, like, you get to hear him say, Mace, no, right? Like he did with Anakin. Like you get to hear that faintness, but he doesn't get to see him because he's gone all dark side. Like it just gives us another opportunity for those two to be having a meditation session. And then Obi-Wan's like, I sense a presence I have not felt. And then boom, into it. I just think this is the only way you can get a season 2. Otherwise,
could there have been Night Sister involvement with Mace coming back?
I really like your guys' falling through the roof idea though. On the Sith Temple. But yeah, why not? I mean, it just seems like there has to be, if we're getting Ahsoka, we're getting Sabine, we're getting the conclusion of Rebels. It feels like this is one of the arcs that isn't finished and tied off yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got the Boba continuation. You've gotten the Obi-Wan continuation. You've even seen Anakin and the Emperor's continuation through Kenobi. This is one of the few stories that we don't get a finale to, that it just kind of leaves it up in the air. No one's going to take that bait. Kenobi Mace up in the air. No. Too easy. Okay. Sorry.
Wow.
I mean, Dave doesn't care about retconning anything. He doesn't care about retconning novels. He doesn't care about retconning comics. You saw that with Caleb Doom in the Kanan comics. You saw that with, obviously Kanan and the comic and then the Bad Batch. We've seen that with Ahsoka and the retcon of that book. So yeah, literature to him doesn't really mean shit.
Out of the Windu.
Out of the Windu. Yes. Yes.
Love it.
That went right out of the Windu.
Yeah, it depends on when this whole Bad Batch stuff takes place, right? Because she gets killed by Dooku.
Yes.
In the book.
Yes.
Yeah, they've already said that this does not interfere with that book. So this has to be before the events, obviously.
Yeah. Or in the middle of that book.
Where's Dooku at? Where's Quinlan at?
They can lead up to that, like, man.
So I was reading, I saw an
it's Dooku that killed
in the book, Dark Disciple. Yeah. He's fighting Quinlan Voss, and she sacrifices
herself for
Voss.
Oh, yep. Okay. Well then, yeah.
So
scratch what I said. Then this is post Night Sister involvement. Then
how does Dooku kill her if he's dead?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is then Night Sisters did something.
Unless that's like Legends shit I'm reading. I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, I didn't
read the book. I haven't read the book. Dark Disciple.
I don't.
Didn't they resurrect her with some Night Sister shit?
That's what I thought was happening with this. Like, definitely no Dooku involvement with it, but all I know is that for sure, like, they officially announced, like, it was whatever the writers or somebody put it out there, was like, this does not interfere with the story in the book at all. They said it actually fits perfectly.
Well, Dark Disciple is Disney canon.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, I can't remember.
I was literally holding that book in my hands the other day. And when I go back to the library with the kids, I'm going to take it home and read it.
Yeah, Dooku's gone at this point. I'm not sure.
That was maybe some Legends. I don't know.
Because the Night Sister's resurrection was from Grievous, right?
Let's look it up, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read it, but
I can't remember.
The two books I'm going to be reading very shortly are that. It's going to be Dark Disciple, and I'm also going to read Shadow of the Sith, the one about Luke and Lando looking for the stuff.
Looking for the holocron that's not a holocron.
Looking for love in all the wrong places, my
Looking
friend.
for looking for the Wayfinder.
The Wayfinder, yeah,
The Wayfinder.
Yeah, and then we get about the bounty hunter that was going after Rey's parents.
Oshi of Bestum, and then you get my favorite one of my favorite droids, Dio.
Dio, yeah,
I love Dio. People hate Dio. I like Conehead. Dio. Yeah, you got one of the Dio. The Dio.
Oh, I want a Dio.
I'll send you a Dio. DM me the address.
I have Lola.
Dude,
that'd be cool.
Lola sleeps in my daughter's room. She says goodnight to her every night.
Send me an address.
Oh my god, dude.
I have 3 more.
Oh my god.
Send me an address. It's new, dude. It's new in box.
Oh my god.
Like, so when you open these, you open the bottom, you undo the bottom right here, and the whole lid slides up, and he lives in the tray.
Oh, that's
and
adorable.
He's got an app, and he's voice activated. So like your kids will love, dude. Send me an address. I'll set it out.
But
I have 3.
Have a squeaky wheel.
I literally have 3 in the corner. There's 3 across in a new box. So yes, send me an address. You'll have a blast with this thing. But no, and he does. Like you'll go up to him and he'll be like, no. Yeah, he talks. His antennas move based on his mood. So like the 3 antennas will like perk up or like go down when you yell at him and stuff. It's really
that droid's seen some stuff, man.
Dude, that droid has seen some shit. But yeah, I let's see, including young Mace, MC line, no fine Padme. Dooku kills Asajj shortly before episode 3. At this point in the Bad Batch, shortly before episode 3. At this point in the Bad Batch, we're 2 years after Order 66.
So she's buried in a sacred Night Sister pool. Same Night Sisters known for bringing people back from the dead.
All right, so that's...
I'd been assuming they were keeping the door open for bringing her back when I read. This is someone's opinion who read the books. They said I had been assuming they were keeping the door open for bringing her back when I read the book.
So
I don't think it cheapens it at all. In fact, surprised people who have read the book are surprised.
That's it. Like, if we think about how things have been released, there's a plan, right? This time around, there's a plan, right? They're way ahead of us right now.
Of course.
So they reintroduced Night Sisters on purpose,
correct,
in Ahsoka to get the audience ready for this.
Maybe, potentially.
So now it's like, okay, we have Night Sisters in mind. Now, even though we're going back into the timeline, it's going to make sense to people, especially for people who are more of like general audience that weren't like neck deep in all of this. And they're like, oh, I recognize that. Those are the Night Sisters from Ahsoka. I watched that. Like, they're going to make the connections.
Some speculation is that it also could be a flashback.
Oh, well, wouldn't it?
Where the Asajj scenes are just cut to make it look like it's in the present, but it's actually a flashback where she shows up.
Okay, and then make whatever she did have an impact on where they're going.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense because...
Well, okay, so they're not going to retcon it. They said they're not going to mess with the book. If it's not Night Sister magic at play, that would have had to take place at the end of the book. Then flashback's an option. Someone said, I hope she's not a clone.
Yeah, I hope she's not a clone. I don't want that.
I don't think she'll be a clone.
Someone's like, can't clone Force sensitives, but now they're kind of proving that
you
might be able to.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's
because
I feel like we're gonna be pleasantly surprised with what happens.
I mean, it just seemed like
I would make it legal.
I would make it legal. Yeah, I don't know. This is why these guys are playing chess and we're playing checkers. Like we're not even on the same level of like, how are you gonna, like, we're on the whiteboard and they're like on digital tablets. Like they're
this is a whole new ball game. This is plans are in place, stories are developed. This isn't like say what anyone wants to say about the sequel trilogy and what happened with all of that. This is not that.
Correct.
This is a road leading there.
Correct.
But this road is going to make the destination stronger.
Yes.
We're in a great spot right now. Like, this is
Agreed.
Well, and I mean, with the Ahsoka show getting a second season, we're gonna have to see how that pans out with Ray Stevenson. Are they gonna recast? Do they already have stuff in the can? Did they edit gracefully so that they have stuff to introduce the second season? Hayden's been on a tour, enjoying his time in the sun, talking about wanting to do more if they need him. Again, I'm curious what Samuel L. Jackson wants, he gets, right? I mean, it's hard to say no. I mean, he talked George Lucas into giving him a non-conventional lightsaber, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want green, I don't want blue, I want purple. And he got it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't see him getting turned down for very long. So I just hope they don't do the Young Adventures of Mace Windu.
Nah, give me that. I want top knot Mace Windu. We already got top knot Yoda from High Republic.
I don't want that bus
driver. Talking shit. We're gonna get out all of them. We'll get everybody with the top knot.
To have any more young Mace Windu adventures.
Yeah, I don't know. I only think that it would be cool with him because of the whole Vapad and learning how he balanced that shit out.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's why I think it's so easy. It's an easy show for them to make a dark Mace Windu. He was already straddling the line. He was already pulling, using dark force energy to feed his fighting style. So he was already kind of susceptible to the pull. And I think it would be fun for him to be maybe trapped in a Sith temple for a decade, right? Almost like it was a labyrinth. No, I don't. I truly don't. Yeah, there you go. Matt Cave for the role of Balin. You could pull it off. Just dye your hair.
I saw somebody post a picture of Ray Park recently, and he's bulked up and has a beard. Like, have him play him. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, there's a lot on the table, man.
See, now we're gonna have Samuel L. Jackson. He'll come in, reprise the Mace Windu, but instead of quoting Bible passages, he's going to be quoting Jedi text passages, and then just off somebody.
Look, and the great thing is you don't have to de-age him. This is for me. This is the best thing about it. You don't have to de-age Samuel L. Jackson at all. The man ages like fucking marble. Like, it's just perfect. He doesn't age. He's looked the same. He's gotten glasses. That's all. I mean, he doesn't age. So it would be perfect to just put on a green screen glove to get rid of everything up to his elbow, right? And then you don't, do a little bit of makeup, make him look a little, beat up and haggard. But that's really it. Like, I would like to see. It would be a cool story to see Mace Windu trapped in a Sith labyrinth, but beneath the Jedi temple. Like, he couldn't just get out. He was stuck somewhere for a while, festering in his hate.
It'd be a cool way to introduce the Sith temple underneath there too.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Like, they've never really talked about it. They've never really shown it. How cool would it be to see some, I mean, who would be, because we've already seen the Temple of Bane. Who would be another one that would be a really good Sith to see a statue, or because the Sith, that's how they did immortality. They entombed their essence in their burial site. So like
they were bound to a place or an object. It was
right. Like
Ragnos was like that.
Momin is in the helmet or in the mask in the helmet. So it would be cool to see like a Sith Lord we haven't. Malgus would be a cool one. Maybe, I mean, as silly as it would be, but I know they're interested in maybe Revan when he was a Sith, right? Like somebody from the Old Republic, or the old days. It would be cool to have this Sith temple be for a Sith Lord that's forgotten, maybe erased from the Jedi history, kind of like what they did in Survivor.
Yep.
You know, a Sith Lord that was not entombed, but his burial site is under, and that's how Mace, like, that's when Mace goes fully dark. Like, maybe he finds this dude's lightsaber in the tomb, and that, you know, brings out the darkness or whatever. It just, there's so much opportunity with Samuel L. Jackson, and he gets what he wants, right? I mean, he really does. There's no, like, bounty hunters the Hitman's bounty hunters saves the world. Like, he got 2 of those. He got Snakes on Planes. He got, like, he gets what he wants. I think it would be awesome to let him be a bad guy in Star Wars. Don't make him be this good guy. Don't make him be this, like, let him be that, where's my lightsaber, motherfucker? Right? Like, how about, I want to hear a Jedi say Ichuta, right? Like, I want to hear him when he first encounters somebody as a bad, they're like, Ichuta. And he's like, no, Ichuta. And he, right? Like, I want to see him be I think it would be a fun character for him to do something different in Star Wars. He doesn't have to play the centered good guy Jedi. You can let it all go, right? Yeah. It would be fun. Bad Batch is tonight. I'm sure there's a bunch of watch parties. I am not watch partying it because it's, well, I'm old and it's late. I mean, hell,
is it midnight East Coast? No, or are they doing
3 a.m.?
That would be really cool. Maybe a secret layer that Plagueis made that Palpatine never knew about, and that's why he was always on. I mean, he was obviously always on Coruscant but he was supposed to be on Coruscant when Anakin showed up. Wouldn't it be interesting if he was building, or he discovered the Sith temple under the Jedi temple, and maybe there's some of his writings in there? That would be fun.
That could be cool.
You know, because he was always doing stuff behind Palpatine's back, right? He had secret apprentices, he had secret locations.
You know, talking about like the temples and the whatnots, I think that would be something compelling for the new trilogy, 10, 11, 12, whatever you want to call it. How Luke had gone around and, you know, Jedi texts and found all these old Jedi temples. Let Rey go do that, but with the Sith, and really so that the future Force users overall have the freaking knowledge about what these psychopaths were doing on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm tired of these goddamn Sith in this goddamn galaxy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
Sith from the Halcyon.
There's so much opportunity. There's still so much opportunity. I know the naysayers and the Disney, you know, anything Disney Star Wars is garbage or are not hip to it. Look, the only way we're going to continue to get content is if they continue to make it for us and they continue to give us good shit. So, you know, whether you like it or not, publicity is always good. So keep hating because it just gives them fuel to make stories. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good time. There's the Bad Batch is coming out. That leads us into Acolyte this summer. That's getting no press. That's getting no
hardly anything at all.
And honestly, I think it's going to be sick. Dude. Yeah. Like when have they released a show that they didn't hype up like this that wasn't fire, right? Like I feel like when they don't hype something up big is when it's gnarly.
Yeah, there's not a need for it.
I think it's going to be great. I know there's a lot of speculation because there hasn't been much information, but
dude, it, like, not for nothing. Once the story's told, it's opening the door for young Palpatine, Plagueis, and other live action High Republic stuff. So it is a launching point for both fandoms to be happy. I'm hoping there are a shit ton of Easter eggs in the show to make both the OT and, you know, like it could really be something that brings a lot of people together that didn't think they would have similar, you know, opinions on this stuff. I'm crossing my fingers for this shit.
It could really happen, but
I'm crossing my fingers for this shit. I am. I'm I'm hoping for you, chat.
I go to sleep in my prayers every night. I wish for this thing.
You never know, man. Plagueis, like hints of a Plagueis, like that's big. That's
As
big.
I lay me down to sleep, please let the Star Wars be the Star Wars that it can be. Thank you, amen.
And Matt Smith for young Plagueis. Or young Palpatine. Matt Smith for young Palpatine.
Yeah, dude. There's so much good this year. Yes, we're always gonna get cancellations. Yes, there's always gonna be the Patty Jenkins and this stuff.
That
And
still hurts.
yes, it does. There's always gonna be the Ray director getting canned. There's always gonna be these people that can't just, color in the lines and play the game. But ultimately, there's a lot of hype for Star Wars right now. And there's a lot of negativity, but there's a lot of hype for Star Wars right now. There's a lot of positive things going on. And if the trajectory continues, man, like I said, I think when we first started streaming together, I was saying, these movies are going to age better. These movies are going to age well. The more the content they create to give us more background, the more these stories are going to age well. And I think that is coming true little by little as they start, especially with the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch has been the one piece of content that they've made over the last couple years that is truly the basis in the structure of the bridge they're building.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the rest of the year in Star Wars. I'm excited for April and May. We're going to do some late night. We're going to do some streams. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to try to make Star Wars fun again. And this is the season. If Samuel L. Jackson is on the lobby trail and on the campaign trail for Mace Returns 2024, 2025, then yeah, I'm all about it. I'm on the train for Padme Amidala Return by Natalie Portman. She's another one. I swear, what is it with the Star Wars people? Do they not age? Right? Like, seriously, did George Lucas give them a potion? Like, did he give them a youth
Immortality
potion?
They got a high midichlorian count.
They all
I can't even say that word.
They all age like vampires. Look, Hayden still looks great. Ewan still looks great. Natalie still looks great. Samuel L. Jackson still looks great. Hell, even Ian is like 300 years old and he's still doing the cons and getting out there getting crazy. Like, I'm telling you, it's he's
really finally the age he played in Return of the Jedi.
Seriously, they don't have to do makeup anymore. They just put him in the hood and you're done. Just hit him with wardrobe. Give him a little powder. You're done. Get out of here. I just think it's a great time to be a fan, and I think that this year is going to, continue to give us good stuff. So I'm excited. We haven't had this group together all year. We haven't gotten together since last year. I think we've all played and had fun and hung out and chatted, but we haven't gotten together in a while. So this, I think, with Bad Batch being here, the more news, maybe we'll be able to get together more often. I know Matt has climbed to 8,500 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
On his way to 10,000. On his way.
Hell yeah.
That's insane.
We couldn't be more happy. We couldn't be more proud of our guy getting out there and doing all the work he's doing. It's confirmed that it's 8,500 people that have subscribed to the Matt Cave. If you're not subscribed over there, get over there and do it. He doesn't need my 5 accounts anymore to back him. He's now got 8,500 of his own fans and subscribers. So if you haven't, get over there and give him some love. Go watch his old content, help him make those ducats. And Scotty, you're doing man, you're in the GTA trying to get some stuff.
My whole channel this year has felt like hurry up and wait. Yeah, like I have been working behind the scenes a lot, helping to get this new GTA city off the ground. So it will be a fresh economy, like $0 in everybody's pocket, which is cool because I've actually never experienced anything like that. So you're helping literally like build the police department from the ground up. The city that we were just messing around in to like do this before the private one, like we didn't even have lawyers in city or the judges or any of that. So people are really hyped. I've been actually handling like applications. So we've accepted over 240 people, hoping a big turnout comes out. The max city will be 220 at one time, and that will peak when it opens. I promise. Like the hype for the city is pretty big. It's serious role play, so it's not GTA Online. It's not just run up and shoot people. Like there's scenarios that'll get played out. And then other than that, you know, I'm still playing Tarkov, still grinding that. Summertime, I'm hyped. I've been talking about Acolyte for over a year.
Forever.
Leslie Edland, like her, you know, aside from people who are creatives and their personal opinions, like the shit she has created is fire, and the stuff that she knows about Star Wars is also fire. So if you listen to her like closely, she's very protective of the IP. I'm gonna have a show, Acolytes After Dark. I would like to probably do a watch party, even if everybody else has watched it. I'd like to give a live reaction and talk about it afterwards, whatever we got to do. So yeah, I got a lot of things coming. GTA is gonna be fun, so if you haven't subscribed already, you should come over and check that shit out.
Do it. Get over there, subscribe to the guys, help everybody get to their goals. And yeah, I mean, Matt's been putting in the work. He's been, you know, putting out a lot of shorts, putting out a lot of content every Wednesday. It's good to be dedicated to a day. So yeah, it's great. We're excited that you're gonna, you know, hopefully reach that 10,000 mark by the end of the year.
I hope so. It's climbing, man, faster.
And I give away like real crystals and stuff too.
Yes.
So like I got Star Wars theme. Like, just come subscribe. You'll end up with a Kyber crystal.
Yep.
Like everybody get over to Scotty.
And he's also got a TikTok over there too that he does stuff on. So you can subscribe. Check out his page. I'm sure all the links are there. If not, I'm sure you could hit him in the Discord. But yeah, man, we're the big thing is we're hoping to get some hype going over the next couple months as Bad Batch continues, as Star Wars Night After Dark. We're gonna be doing some stuff out there, and yeah, dude, just getting ready for some fun times and a lot of content coming out, a lot more news. So we're gonna try to keep up. We're gonna try to do more. We're gonna try to be here more, and we'll see how it ends. Yeah, try to do more day streams. Try to do more. I don't really do watch parties, but we do reactions and discussions, breakdowns. We did it last week. And then Nerd Mafia came in and corrected me that it wasn't a mafioso guy. He was more like Johnny Bag of Donuts. So I'm off Bad Batch until Asajj shows up. Okay.
That could be tomorrow.
I feel you. Hope your project is going well. Feel free to reach out if you need anything. You know, we're always rooting for your project also. Yeah, man. Anybody have any questions before we tap out? Last thoughts, anything else going on that you guys want to plug?
I'll answer Steve's question. At the moment, no hard copies yet for either. But never say never with that stuff. We have a better chance of getting hard copy games than we do movies right now. So
facts.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Pause. I think didn't Final Fantasy Rebirth come out with physical copies?
I believe so. I know that Ninja was just playing Final Fantasy Rebirth today. He wasn't playing Fortnite for a change, so I actually got on and I was like, "What is going on? Are we did travel into a parallel universe at some point." Ninja's not playing Fortnite. Something's terribly awry. Yep. All right. Bridger Train. Look, you know me. I'm all about the Ezra for sure. You know, I know the film business. Things are slow, moving forward. When are you doing a panel for your game show?
My game show?
I didn't know Matt had a game show, but we'll let you know.
I didn't know either.
We'll let you know when it comes out. All right, everybody, let's get out of here. But yeah, as always, don't forget, get out there, get your pet spayed and neuter, help control the pet population. Don't forget, always tell everybody what you feel, how you feel, what you think now, because you never know what tomorrow brings. Every day is a new day. Every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So be happy, be well, take care. May the force be with you. As always, thank you to my cohorts in crime, Scotty Hawks Holocron and the Matt Cave. We will be with you again shortly. I hope this will not be another 3-month adventure before we get together. Everybody take care. We will see you real soon. Have a great night. Peace.